What is up, everybody? Today is a new video. Today we're going to be predicting the New Orleans Saints 2026 to 2027 NFL record. Let's get into it. All right, so starting off in week 1, I guess on the road at the Detroit Lions, I'm gonna have to give the Saints. I'm gonna have to give the Lions that one. The Saints defense is gonna be a major concern, but also Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff. Yeah, that offense is elite, and I don't think the Saints defense will be able to stop them. But I do think that I do think they could shock some people, and they could somehow win. But I'm giving them a loss for right now. Now week 2 at the Baltimore Ravens, I'm gonna have the Saints starting 0-2. Brandon Staley struggled against a mobile quarterback, and Lamar Jackson is a mobile quarterback, and I just don't think the defense would be able to hold up though. But it would be surprising. The Saints can keep this competitive, but I would be surprised if the Saints actually won this game. But hey, the Saints are a sneaky good team, but I don't think they can compete against the elite teams. Coming home in week 3, this is where I have the Saints getting their first W of the season against the Raiders. The Raiders are not very good. Whoever the starting quarterback is, Kirk Cousins, Fernando Mendoza, whoever. I feel like the Saints could easily win this game because the Raiders are not very good, and they could, end up with a top 5 pick next year. But the Saints are 1-2. Now week 4, Monday Night Football against the Atlanta Falcons. Oh man, I cannot wait for that game. But give me the Saints to start 2-2. The Saints, the Falcons, they can't compete with the Saints, and every Falcons fan thinks thinks bringing up shit from a past season. Like, nigga, you didn't play anybody. You played our practice squad. Like, come on. But yeah, give me the Saints to start 2-2. And yeah. Oh, and guys, before we continue this Saints prediction video, I just want to give a shout out to Kalshi. Kalshi, the video is sponsored by Kalshi, where you can bet all your money and save up like 20-50%, and you can win up to your total buyout and your payout. But let's say, for instance, you bet on the San Antonio Spurs to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals, or you bet on the Knicks to beat the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. You can win up. So, like, let's say you bet like $100, and the team you bet on wins. You could win like twice that total payout. So you could win like $200. Let's get back to the video. So week 5, the New Orleans Saints take on the Minnesota Vikings. I have the Saints winning this game. Yes, I have the Saints winning this game. I mean, the Vikings, they're just really mid, in my opinion. And I feel like the Saints' improvements can definitely face the Saints. It could definitely help the Saints win this game. And I just think, yeah, I just think, that's all I gotta say. But I think, Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy, whoever's the starting quarterback, either way, I think the Saints will win. Even though, but I do think the Saints will win this game. So give me the Saints to start 3-2. Going on the road to face the New York Giants, I'm gonna be realistic here. I have the Saints losing this game to the New York Giants. It's even though, Tyler Shough is the better quarterback. But even though that's true, I just think that I mean the Giants made improvements. John Harbaugh, the head coach, And that Giants defense, can be something really good this year. But I just don't see this. I just don't see, the Saints, maybe winning this game. But I just don't see it. But they could shock me and surprise me. But either way, the Saints are starting 3-3. Now week 7, the Saints play the Steelers in France. I'm gonna have the Saints actually win this one. The reason why is because the Steelers are perfectly mid, but even though Aaron Rodgers is coming back, I just don't see him. I just don't see the Steelers winning this game, because the Saints have made improvements, and they I feel like the Saints can Tyler Shough, all the weapons. And the Steelers, the Steelers are going to be the Steelers, but give me the Saints to start 4-3 heading into the bye week. Now, week 9 against the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to have the Saints win this game. Because, the Cleveland Browns are the Browns. And the Saints, let's just get this over with. The Saints are better than the Browns and will always be better than the Browns. And Tyler Shough will continue to prove that he's a good quarterback. And he's better than Shedeur Sanders. So, yeah, I have the Saints starting 5-3. Perfect start. Heading into week 10. And, yeah. So, heading into week 10, you're 5-3. Looking good. Heading into week 10, you play the Carolina Panthers at home. I'm going to give you the win. The Panthers are very successful against the Saints are very successful against the Panthers at home in the Superdome. And I just feel like, the Saints defense will show up this game, and Bryce Young will be running for his life this game. So I have the Saints starting 6-3 heading into week 11. Play the Chicago Bears. Now, week 11 at the Chicago Bears, I'm going to have you lose to the Bears because, it's the Saints, they're not beating the Bears in Chicago. That's going to be really tough. So the Saints are going to be 6-4 heading into week 12. All right, week 12 against the Bengals, at the Bengals on the road. I'm going to have you lose. The Bengals are just simply, their defense. They improved the defense this offseason. Joe Burrow is still elite. Jamar Chase is still great. T. Higgins is he's okay, but the Saints, I just feel like this is they can't and I don't think they have the corners to hang with Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. So I'm gonna have the Saints start 6-5 before they come back home to play the Green Bay Packers in week 13. Now week 13, I'm gonna have the Saints lose this one. I just think the Packers, with Michael Parsons, they're really good, and yeah, and I just feel like this is the 5-week stretch where the Saints, they tough form, and this is so the Saints are 6-7. 6-7. All right, let's move on. Now week 14 at the Carolina Panthers. Last time you played the Panthers on the road, you won that one. So this is where I'm going to actually have you split with the Panthers and lose this one. I'm not trying to be nice, but I'm just also trying to be realistic. I mean, the Panthers did improve the defense, but I feel like this game will be pretty close, but I think the Panthers will, close this one out and, win this one. Even though I don't want to give Panthers win, but I have to be realistic. So the Saints are 6-8 heading into week 15. Week 15 at the Tampa Bay Bucks. 6-7. Yeah, week 15 at the Bucks. I'm gonna have you lose this one. Simply because the Bucks are tough at home, but And week 16 against the Arizona Cardinals, I'm also gonna have you get an easy win here, because, you know, it's the Cardinals, and, you know, they're not going to be very good this year, but they're going to be awful. They're going to be awful. And they're giving the worst hard schedules in the league. And I feel like, you know, with they don't have anybody that's, you know, really good besides Jeremiah Love and, you know, and maybe Michael Wilson, but, you know, but right now, I'm going to give the Saints the easy win here. And week 17 at the Atlanta Falcons, I'm gonna have you win that one, simply because, you know, I never picked the Saints to lose against the Falcons. When have I ever done that? But, you know, the Saints are sweeping the Falcons this year, and that's that. So 8-8. And week 18 against the Bucks, they get the win to finish the season 9-8, and they win the division. And the Saints. So 9-8 is my final record prediction for the New Orleans Saints. Let me know how I did in the comments. Peace out. Also, guys, I meant to put the record as 10-7, and also the win against the Giants on the road. So don't take this, you know, for granted. So yeah, thank you for understanding.